Yes. Now, as many of you might not be aware, the old Tomb Raider series has been remastered. Sales are up on Steam as I'm doing this video. Now, how well the remastering is done, I can't say. It was only released yesterday, I think, so stay tuned to Melanie Mac on Twitter and YouTube. Pretty sure she'll give a fair assessment. She's a big Lara fan, after all. Oh, and speaking of Melanie, she posted this on Twitter about it. Been telling you guys for years, Crystal Dynamics despise classic Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, or the XX activists do anyway. After years of refusing to remaster them, Embracer outsourced it for us, and Crystal Dynamics spit in our faces by adding this disclaimer. I hope Embracer fires them from the franchise. So what prompted Melanie to say this? Well, here is the cringe-inducing BS that Crystal Dynamics put out. The games in this collection contain offensive depictions of people and cultures rooted in racial and ethnic prejudices. Turn down your volume for a moment. Fuck off! I feel so much better now. Also, what a crock of complete BS. Offensive depictions? Offensive according to freaking who? We all know who, and yes, I will be speaking on them at some point. Secondly, let me be a tad controversial. A tad, you say? Yes, a tad, because I'm usually more controversial than this. There is no such thing as racial and ethnic prejudice. Never has been, never will be. Except in one instance, and that's just sheer volume, displacement. All prejudice is based on action, and racial and ethnic labels are quite literally just surface-level analysis designed to dupe the stupid who run on nothing but emotion. Geez, I wonder what group I could possibly be describing there. Take me, for example. I have heavy prejudice against quite a few groups, running the gamut from location to melanin to chromosomes. Sure as hell isn't based on those variables. If you ask me a while, I'll run you off a list from now till fucking Christmas. Also, get real. Those idiots have a prejudice against Europeans, which makes no sense because their ideology comes from frickin' Europe. That and they live in European-created nations, wear European clothes, speak European languages, and use European inventions. Only thing about them that isn't European is the color. And even then, I will bet you a sizable chunk of them possess a bloodline that stretches back all the way to the days of imperial conquest. You should get on your knees and be thankful, you ungrateful plebs. Prejudice is the consequence of pattern recognition. If you don't have any prejudice, you're mentally deficient. And if you follow any ideology that prohibits the formation of any prejudice, well, that does explain a lot about leftism. You may as well be marching off a cliff. Sorry, I was picturing some lemmings. Anyway, these stereotypes are deeply harmful, inexcusable, and do not align with our values at Crystal Dynamics. Which stereotypes? Tribals and cannibals who don't even know you freaking exist? Oh, I'm sure they'll be greatly offended. Values my ass. I will say this. As far as non-violent interactions go, there is nothing that pisses me off more than these mid-witted twats who are offended on behalf of other people. If I ran a nation, I would legit make that a punishable crime. If you're offended on somebody else's behalf and it isn't, say, your own kin, I would throw you in prison. Those types are nothing more than a social menace. Rather than removing this content, we have chosen to present it here in its original form, oh thank you very much for that, unaltered, in the hopes that we may acknowledge its harmful impact and learn from them. Oh, get real. Who are you freaking fooling here? You're keeping it in because you want to make money. The only thing you learn is censoring has an impact on your profit margins. Your values only go so far as a dollar can carry you, and we all know this. Let's be honest here for a moment, shall we? It's the XXs that are responsible for all of this crap. No man would ever give a right bollock about any of this sort of rubbish. When the gaming industry was damn near exclusively male, we never had any of these problems ever. This is one of the areas where I heavily disagree with Vion, because he says it's the ideology, not the XXs. Nah, that's bollocks. Saying it's the ideology, not the XXs, is like saying, oh, it's not the gun that did the damage, it's the lead. No, the gun is what fires the lead. It's the mobilizing apparatus without which the lead can do bugger all. And I base this on the play by Aristophanes' Assemblywomen. When they get power, they act on equality, because they're completely divorced from the nature of reality and power, especially with regards to men, which is why they are hopelessly inept and hell-bent on ignoring reality at every turn whenever they are in any position of influence or authority. Really, they don't have any agency of their own. They're merely followers of power. Their behavior is quite scripted, really. They run in input and output loops. If you don't like the bad output, put in a better input. Simple as. They only behave like this because of the programming of the regime. Again, none of these beliefs are organic. If you put them in any other regime, these beliefs would dissipate into thin air because there's nothing to gain from it, neither socially or fiscally. I said this on Twitter. The relationship with the modern Huaman and power is a bit like Gollum in The One Ring. They have no idea what it's actually for or how to wield it. In their possession, they age like hell, and when not, they scramble for it like the worst drug addict chasing a fix, not realizing they would be far better off without it. I thought that was pretty fitting, actually. If Melanie is right and Crystal Dynamics didn't even make this, then outside of virtue signaling bile, what the hell was the point of this stupid stunt even? Do they get a percentage of sales? I imagine they must do. Oh, this game has harmful stereotypes, so deeply inexcusable. Oh, what a great shame. Now give us your money. Piss off. If they get even a bit of dosh, I disagree with Melanie. Actually, this is one of the big problems of the right, along with grade and movement lacking a proper centralized authority and complacency. The left can ascend via tiny incremental wins, whereas the right can only win with hard absolutes, hence why the complacency is a big problem. Good example is a Bud Light fiasco. I actually disagree with Trump there. They haven't learned their lesson. They never learn lessons. You're essentially dealing with low-minded criminals. They only recognize strength or weakness, that's it. Your goal is not to teach them a lesson or cause some financial discomfort. No. Your goal is utter annihilation. Your goal is bankruptcy. Victory must be total, like a stranglehold. The goal isn't to stop when they tap. No. The goal is to make sure they never tap ever again. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.